Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach when working with clients. We know that helping your clients become the healthiest version of themselves isn't just about getting to the gym or telling them what to eat. We look at a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, mindset, exercise, lifestyle, sleep, and of course, nutrition. At Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring, we help gym owners and coaches build successful nutrition programs without reinventing the wheel. I'm your host, Nicole Aucoin, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to take one step at a time to build a successful habit-based coaching program where you finally feel confident talking about nutrition to your members and your communities. Today's guest, I'm so excited to have on. We actually recorded this podcast when she was in person at our HQ location, filming a ton of professional video content for the Healthy Steps Nutrition app. Today's guest is Kayla. She is one of the dietitians on staff, and she is the head of coach development for HSN Mentoring. One of the big initiatives we started in 2021 was coach evaluations, and Kayla owned that entire project. There is definitely some learning curves and different things that we've adapted and changed because of the coach evaluations. And one of the things that we are striving to do at HSN Mentoring is to build confident nutrition coaches. When coaches launch their nutrition programs and gyms graduate our training process, we want them to be ready to see clients the next day and feel very confident doing so. One of the ways that we've helped coaches is through coach evaluations. It's interesting when we think about coach evaluations. In a gym setting, of course, we evaluate our coaches on coaching a class. When you walk into a gym, you want your 6 a.m. class and your 6 p.m. class to be run pretty similarly. Coaches might have different cues, but for the most part, it's going to be run the same way. It is not that way with most nutrition coaching programs. They're not systemized, they're not professional, it's not organized, and different coaches are doing different things. The problem in the gym setting is that your clients talk to each other. So you really need to deliver a consistent experience to be able to help your clients and deliver the service that you really want to deliver. So in today's podcast, we talk about why you should be investing your time to do coach evaluations in regards to nutrition coaching as a gym owner and how to do it. We also talk about a super exciting announcement that's now included with the annual subscription for HSN Mentoring. We will get to this episode right after this message. Did you know that HSN has a coach directory? That's right. One of the awesome perks for HSN Mentoring is to be on hireanutritioncoach.com. There are so many people out there in the world that need help. And my goal at HSN HQ is not to help all of the people. We know that we're going to make a bigger impact when we empower more coaches to help people in their communities. The power of those in-person relationships and those one-on-one communications and meetings is so powerful to deepen the relationship and really support your clients to reach optimal health. Well, now we are going to be including coach evaluations for every single person so that they can get on hireanutritioncoach.com. There are some criteria to get on hireanutritioncoach.com. You have to be an active HSN Mentoring client, running the program for at least 3 months, and have passed the coach evaluation. I want to ensure all of our coaches are providing a consistent experience, and coach evaluations are one of the ways that we do that. All right, let's get to this episode with Kayla, and don't forget to tune in till the end because I have a special announcement for you. Kayla, welcome to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Thank you so much for having me back. So excited.
We are actually recording this one in person because you came down to HSN HQ to record all the app videos.
Literally all the app videos. What an amazing experience this has been. Thank you so much for hosting me.
It was so much fun. I'm excited for all of these app videos to be up in the app. We have hormone health, performance, mental health, so many cool videos coming out to support all of the clients in the Healthy Steps Nutrition platform. While you're here, we also made a huge announcement that every single gym is going to start getting one coach evaluation every single year.
Yep. And we've been doing this for about a year. We launched this coaches evaluation. And there's so many reasons we're excited to have this. We want to have evaluations first for consistency, whether it's from client to client, or if you've got more than one coach in your program, coach to coach. That is so important when it comes to building a successful nutrition program. I'm also excited because it's going to ensure that everybody's meeting the standard. Nicole, the team here at HSN does an incredible job making sure that the training programs are constantly getting up to date to ensure that we're keeping our coaches creating great services for our clients. And the last thing I really want to highlight is we want to ensure that all of our coaches have a growth mindset and have the opportunity to get that real-time feedback. Whether you've been doing it for a month or you've been doing it for 3 years, there is always something that we can improve upon.
Absolutely. I think I learned the most, and I think you can agree too, you're a dietitian as well. When you first get started, you overcomplicate things sometimes. And then you're like, wait a second, if I make it simple, it will be more effective and people will see better results. And I think as you grow as a coach, the more simple you make it, the more successful your clients are.
Oh my gosh. I remember talking all the pathways when I was a fresh dietitian.
Yep, absolutely. Those are some really key points about why it's important from a coaching standpoint. Our goal is to help coaches feel confident when helping their clients with nutrition. But I also look at the business side, right? Gym owners just went through the toughest 2 years of their lives. And one of the things that we launched back in 2021, in January of 2021, is hireanutritioncoach.com. Basically, we have leads coming to HSN HQ from all over the world. And I would much rather be able to send them to a gym that I feel super confident that they can help them. No matter what gym it is, no matter where it is, it's going to be a consistent experience. That's how this whole program was built. We launched the Nutrition Made Simple podcast, and the call to action after every single episode is go to hireanutritioncoach.com and find a nutrition coach near you. And it's been a great tool for the gyms that are on it to get leads, but some gyms are not on it yet because they haven't had a coach evaluation. So now every single HSN gym is going to be getting on hireanutritioncoach.com. It doesn't cost anything. It's just it's a way for us to say, hey, thank you for trusting us to help you. And if we can give you more business and allow you to make a bigger impact in your community, that's exactly what we want to do. Kayla, let's dive into the coach evaluations a little bit. One of the things that you talk all the time about in the coach evaluation and even on your Monday coach development meetings is the linear path. What exactly does it mean and why is it important?
Yeah, so the linear path is really taking the what that we help discuss with our clients, and it's talking about that how, that step-by-step process that when they leave your office, they know exactly what they need to do in order to find success.
I think sometimes as coaches, we might assume someone knows something and they go back into their life and they didn't plan out all of those steps, and sometimes something is missed and it doesn't get done, right?
100%. One of the things I really like to remind coaches is, why do people love group class? Nicole, why do you love going to your class at the gym?
I love going because I don't have to think about anything. I just go and they tell me what to do.
Exactly. That's why I go. I know that the hardest thing that I need to do or that my members need to do is show up. After that, everything else, they get the step by step. And that's exactly what we should be aiming to do with our nutrition clients.
No, I think it's interesting. So many people will call us and say, hey, I want a meal plan, like clients, right? Someone's local. They're like, oh, I need to lose weight. I want a meal plan. Like that's the natural thing that people want. But you give them a piece of paper, and what if they don't like those foods on there? What if they don't like the preparation method? Or what if someone in their family doesn't eat that? Now they're like, okay, this meal plan's not working for me. Instead, let's create a plan that works with the client to reach their goals based on their feedback.
Yeah, exactly. We know that we're building habits here, right? The habits that are going to make that long lasting change in their life to not only achieve their goals, but then maintain them. So what that means is breaking it down and making sure that this works in our individuals' lives, right? Those clients are all different depending on their day to day. And it's our role to help them figure out how to build these habits. I'd love to go through an example. Balanced breakfast is one that I talk with my clients all the time about. We're so busy navigating kids, navigating life in general, and balanced breakfast is really hard to get. Now, Nicole, you're a dietitian, so you have great habits. So if I were to say, hey, Nicole, I want you to go eat a balanced breakfast, probably pretty simple for you, but we have to take ourselves back by thinking, don't take anything for granted. What's easy for me and you might not be for our clients. So we start at the top with this linear path, right? What is a balanced breakfast? Define that. Help them feel confident with that. And then start talking about the options. Well, what would you be excited to have for breakfast in the morning? And maybe we're pulling up a recipe book or our recipe pages.
I love that. I think if we can start helping them plan out what looks good to them, they're going to be excited about it. They're going to do it versus just saying, oh, you have to have this or you can't have that. And that restrictive mindset is what gets people in this downward spiral. Instead, let's talk to them and put them in the driver's seat of what looks good to them and what's realistic to them.
Yes, I love that you said driver's seat. A big portion of this linear path is going back to those motivational interviewing skills, using those open-ended questions that we talk a lot about with our nutrition coaches. So it might be, of these recipes, what would you be super excited to plan for to eat this week? Maybe they pick the overnight oats. And I really do guide a lot of my beginners to that recipe. It's so easy. You can make it ahead of time. But then before I get ahead of myself, I ask, okay, well, how are you going to have the time to make this? When is it going to be the night before? Do we need to make a few over the weekend? I ask things even before that. Which ingredients do you have and what do you need to pick up from the store? And when are you going to have time to pick it up from the store?
It plans out every little detail so that when they leave your office, they know exactly what they need to do to implement the plan that you guys are talking about. And I think that's the biggest struggle for so many people. We overcommit ourselves. We have too much on our plate. And then the things that are going to actually help us, especially in my opinion, women, like they push them back to the back burner because all these other things are more important. And then it never ends up getting done. So if we can plan it out step by step, it's so easy. So you do the overnight oats. I think that's a great one. I think one of my staple ones that I guide people to is the egg muffins because you can make them your own and put whatever your favorite ingredients are in there, and they're super easy. We'll definitely put those two recipes in the links in the show notes so that people can check those out. Do you do the regular overnight oats recipe or do you do the double chocolate overnight oats?
Oh, double chocolate all the way. I am a chocolate girl over here.
I agree. The double chocolate. And I think the secret ingredient in that recipe is the Greek yogurt.
Oh, absolutely. It changes the consistency, increases that protein, which helps my clients feel fuller for longer, helps me feel fuller for longer on my busy days. Big fan.
Okay, I want to bring up something that you just said that we kind of breezed over. You said it makes me feel that way because you eat these things. So it's easy for you to talk about it from experience because you as a coach are doing what you're talking about with your clients.
Yeah, I feel like when I live and do the things that I would want my clients to do, it helps me really break it down and think, okay, what are all of those small steps that I don't even have to think about anymore in order to complete this task?
We were joking before we started because I knew I was going to get off track, but here we are. One of the other initiatives that you started was coaching coaches. And one of the things that has helped coaches be super confident is that they're going through this program. They're going through healthy substance nutrition as a client so that they see it from experience. So we're kind of forcing them to be able to understand from a client's perspective now. And they're so excited about it because they get to see and experience all these things for themselves. And it's so much easier for them to talk about it from experience.
Absolutely. And because we're going off track here, I'm going to run with it for a second. When you brought this idea up to me, it was quick, but then I feel like the team that really took this on just ran with it. And what it's really looking like is we spend, I would say, probably 90%. So a majority of the time talking about the nutrition coaching, helping these coaches define what are their short and long-term goals and helping them through the process in tandem with their training. So then the last 10% of every single call, we get to go through a reflection, a quick how or why with any of the recommendations. And it's kind of like that linear path, right? We're not just telling our coaches what to do, but now we're helping them understand that step by step, the how and the why behind it.
I think it's so fun. I love the team coming together. I think that's one of the coolest things about our program is like, we'll throw out different ideas. And if they go back to one of the core initiatives that we focus on as a company, last year it was owners' involvement. Like I wanted owners to be more involved because I knew that if owners were involved in their programs, not in the day-to-day, but really supporting the coach, the program overall would be more successful. One of the other big initiatives that we did last year was the coach development. I want coaches to feel 100% confident when they launch, the day they launch. And we started doing, the weekly coach development sessions. You guys started doing the coach evaluations, then the coaching the coaches. It's like every initiative goes back to, all right, what do we want as a company? What does success look like? And we just start having collaborative engagement conversations with our leadership team of, all right, how can this actually work and where are the holes that we can help fill so that we can help these initiatives move the needle forward. So I absolutely love that you've run with both of these initiatives and done an amazing job. All right, let's go back. So we talked about breakfast, right? So you have them pick a recipe. Mm-hmm. Then you're, all right, what ingredients do we need? Then when are we going to prep it? Who's going to eat it, right? I think that's another question to ask, right? So if you make it just for you, I'm thinking of an example at our gym, Kristen and Scott. You actually met them yesterday. And Kristen will do a lot of meal prepping and Scott sometimes eats her breakfast options.
Oh man.
And it's not a good experience for her because she goes in there thinking she's going to have something and it's not there. So I think it's an important conversation. Like, okay, are you the only one that's going to eat this or do you need to make a double batch so that your significant other doesn't eat your thing that you prepped for the week?
Oh my gosh, yes. It's such a great point, such an awesome thing to really consider because I have coaches ask me, okay, how do you know when it's a good linear path? And it's when you've navigated any potential barrier that your client might run into. So my spouse might eat all of my food prep, absolutely high on the list of the barriers and the things that we need to consider.
I think sometimes, and it's really cool as a coach, especially as you get more experience, because you know the barriers that are going to come up because you see the same barriers over and over and over again. And yeah, having the support system on board or, potentially really, really on board where they want the same exact thing as you, could be a little minor thing that we have to work out and plan ahead. So we talked about the breakfast one. I think that makes a lot of sense. And, I'm sure you're talking to them about the why. Why do we want a balanced breakfast? Well, if you're just eating cereal, your blood sugar is going to go up. It's going to go down. You're probably going to feel hungry soon after, which is going to cause you to, make more food and not allow you to do what you really want to do and get more stuff done. So it helps you stay full and satisfied. It's also going to give you energy. It's going to help set your brain up for the day. Like,
oh, super important. Mm-hmm.
All the why behind it. Let's go through another example. I know for us, we work with a lot of moms and you do too. You guys work with a lot of families mm-hmm. at your CrossFit gym. Talk to me a little bit about if one of our goals was for your client to start having family dinners together, what would a linear path like that look like?
Yeah, such a good one. Now, just like when we started with balanced breakfast, defining it, what do we need to define and how can we keep it as simple as possible for our clients? Sometimes I feel like our parents get so overwhelmed with what a dinner should actually look like, where we have all these beautiful social media posts and influencers telling us it has to look so grand. So we really take the time to break it down. A balanced dinner, go back to that plate method. What do we need on there? Some protein. Great. Can you name to me a few proteins that the whole family would be excited to eat this week? What's the next part? Those starchy carbs. You love potatoes? Awesome. Let's go ahead and make sure that's part of the plan for our kids. I want them to be excited about the foods that they're going to eat. And then half a plate of non-starchy veggies. This typically gets to be the sticky point in our conversation. But again, asking, what are you open to? Do you have a growth mindset? And how can we start planning for this?
And I think sometimes for parents, like I know for us, for the longest time, we only did steamed veggies. In my opinion, they're not the best, but we ate them, right?
Oh my gosh, the color changes, they get mushy.
The mushiness is like the problem, I think. And a lot of times if you oversteam them, they're uber mushy. So what if we talk to them about, hey, would you be open to trying roasted potatoes or roasted veggies? Here's a recipe on how to do it. Let's pull it up and let me send it to you so you don't have to go find a recipe in the giant world of online recipes, here's one that I know is really good and I'm pretty sure you're going to like, and it's super easy.
Yes. When I'm working both breakfast and families, planning that dinner anytime, one of the best tools that I find myself using almost every single meeting is my recipe page. And that is such a huge perk being, running our HSN program here at my own facility. I love having those recipes. I know that they're family approved. I see your kids eat them all the time, and it makes it really easy for me to feel confident asking my clients to try these recipes.
Absolutely. I think one of the coolest things we did in 2020 was that kids cookbook where, honestly, it's all the healthy subs nutrition recipes, but our kids in every picture. So other kids are like, oh man, Birdie and Cooper are in this book and they're eating it. I should eat it too. And it's essentially adult recipes that kids like because they see other kids eating them. And it's worked out perfectly.
Absolutely. So now we've discussed and we've defined what that balanced meal needs to look like for dinner. We've got a few staple ingredients, and that's really what we need to go for. We've talked about some recipes, and then same thing. Well, what do you have? What do you need? When you go shopping, this is my favorite question. Do you shop with a list, or are you just grabbing things, right?
I would say more people shop without a list than we would realize. And then you end up, especially if you're hungry, it's a combination for disaster.
Oh yeah. Or you almost get everything and then you get home and you realize you missed that one small ingredient, and then it just becomes one of those triggers. You know what? Never mind. We're just going to cook that pizza that's in the freezer. Or we're going to pick something up.
I think one of the resources that we have that I love is the family dinner planner, and we actually use it as a family a lot. And one of the things that my husband does most of the shopping and cooking. You've noticed that in our house, staying with us the past few days, and he sometimes will go and get one dinner, right, and then like the next day he's got to go and get the next dinner, and then the next day he's got to go to Publix and get the stuff for the next day instead of just all in one day. And if people are struggling with time, it's going to be a barrier for them to not actually plan out the week because they're going to have to go figure out what they want, prep, shop, cook every single day.
Absolutely. And that goes, again, back to a good linear path navigates barriers for our clients, whether it's their own personal barrier or something with a spouse or maybe their kids. And we are so busy. We've got so much going on that sometimes, and I'm a dietitian. I love cooking. I love baking. You've gotten to learn that about me. But I get to the end of my day and I'm like, I don't have enough energy to cook a meal. So I relate and I understand that. So working with our clients, if that's a barrier for you, let's talk about, do you have some extra time on Sunday? Can we prep just one extra thing so you have that plan B that you can reach for to help you get that balanced meal that we're looking for?
I love it. All right. So we understand the linear path, and I want to go back to the evaluation. So HSN gyms are going to be able to get evaluations by us, by our dietitian staff, but gym owners who are not part of the HSN family that are like, okay, I'm really good at evaluating my coaching staff. I know that the 6 a.m. class is the same as the 6 p.m. class, but I have no idea what actually goes on in my nutrition consults. What are some things that they can do to evaluate their nutrition coaching program and staff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think doing role play is one of the first things I would recommend for coaches for gym owners, because I know we've got a lot going on. We wear many hats in the day, but when we can role play, we can see our coaches in action, see if they're keeping it simple, see if they're able to make it actionable with our clients at different levels.
And if you're like, I'm not really sure about role playing, like actually sign up for your nutrition program and get coached by your client and be yourself. Then you don't even have to role play, and you could actually get help and see if the delivery of the service is what you want as a gym owner. And I can tell you from talking to so many gym owners over the years, that is one of the big barriers for them. They're like, okay, I realized what was happening with our nutrition program. We have the best intentions of delivering this amazing service, and we just don't have the systems and the skill to be able to do it. And I know that my members deserve better, and I want to be able to deliver an amazing experience to them, just like our classes.
Yeah. I think one thing that you've done really well is you've been able to travel a whole lot lately and capture some of the incredible stories of some of the HSN programs, right? And I think what we've found, and this is the development of the Coaching Coaches program, we're going to bring that back for a second, is some of the most successful programs out there are run by either gym owners or coaches who have experienced the habit-based approach in nutrition coaching firsthand.
It's funny when I talk to existing gyms, they're like, okay, my program is growing, which is what we're seeing globally right now. Like nutrition programs are booming because people realize they need help and they realize they can't do it alone. And one of the first things I talk about, especially with existing gym programs, is I'm like, hey, who of your membership who's done your nutrition program, who's done really awesome? They've experienced it. They love and trust you guys. Maybe you have someone that's been through the program themselves that can talk from experience who would be a great fit to help support the nutrition program and be added as a coach.
Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir here because as you know, my nutrition coaches only come internally from within the program.
I think that's awesome. Okay. So for a gym owner that's like, Nicole, Kayla, I have way too much on my plate. Why do I need to do evaluations, or why is this important? Let's just talk about that for a minute. Why is it important?
Yeah, just like that consistency in our group class, right? Whether it's 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., it's the same thing with our nutrition program. Whether, again, it is client to client consistency, or if you have a bigger team, coach to coach consistency, we as gym owners need to feel confident that our clients are receiving the best service. And we need to be doing evaluations and understanding that, yes, they are doing the things that they need to do, and it is consistent.
I think from a practical standpoint, if you have a coach who's following up with a client every single day in a text message, and then you have another coach that's following up with them once a week, but they're paying the same thing, the one that's getting followed up with every single day is going to feel like they got way more value, and the other person's feeling like they've gotten gypped, when in reality, we don't have a standard here that needs to be met. And people, what I've noticed, especially with nutrition, it's not about the food, it's about all the other things that are going on in their life that they use food to cope with. And people they need as much support as you can give them. And of course, we as coaches have to set boundaries so that we can value our time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's a big one I've been talking with a whole lot of coaches about recently, and even myself, is being able to keep up with the support and accountability, but also being mindful of those boundaries, understanding, creating a consistent time of day when you're responding to your messages, and being able to give your whole self to your client. And you can't do that consistently if you're always doing that with your clients.
Absolutely. So consistency is super, super important. I think the next thing that you really talk about is the scalability for different types of clients, because people are going to come into you. We know that the average person tries 7 to 10 diets before seeking a professional. So dieting and nutrition probably isn't new, but there's a wide range of what people understand prior to coming into your facility.
Yes. A big reason that gym owners need to be doing evaluations is we want to know, is your coach able to scale their process, this nutrition program, to those different knowledge-based levels, right? If I've had someone who was hardcore Whole30 or paleo, right? Those diets that they've tried beforehand, odds are they know a good amount about macros. And when I use macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fat, and the roles within our body, they're going to feel comfortable with that, right? If I have a beginner client and I start throwing those kinds of words at them, their head's going to start spinning, their eyes are going to gloss over, and I'm going to really lose their attention. So when they leave my office, there's going to be no follow through. They're going to come back for their accountability, and they're not going to see the progress that they wanted because I had overwhelmed them.
And I think that's why we have to start off with this linear path and keeping it so simple and not assuming our clients know anything. And you can move through the progressions a little bit faster for those clients that do have that understanding. But I can guarantee you there's some foundational pieces in every single person that are missing that we need to help them accomplish. And I don't, even myself, I know that I don't drink enough water. I know how much water I should drink. I need someone to really keep me accountable of Nicole, how much water did you drink today? Did you meet your goal? So don't assume that your clients, you have to go super complicated or super advanced with them. Start everyone off with the basics, because that really allows you as a coach to build the relationship with them so that they feel comfortable opening up with you and they trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we had been talking about not too long ago was the value that we have as coaches. And in the beginning, for those beginner clients who don't know a lot about macros or the role of them in our body and the best ways to pair them to reach our goals, it's going to be a lot more education in a very, pun intended, digestible manner.
Yes. Of course, paired with accountability. And then as those clients get with you longer, they're with you longer, they know a lot of the education. Now it's more accountability and not as much education. You think about it from a gym standpoint. Do you teach a CrossFit athlete a new skill every time they come in? Or are they coming to classes because they have the accountability and support from everyone that's showing up to classes and from a coach that's there pushing them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Step by step.
I think the last reason why gym owners should be thinking about evaluations is the scalability, right? So it could be very easy to launch a program and it being very time intensive for 5 people. But what if you have 50 people that want to do that program? That there's probably not enough hours in the day if you don't have a program that is scalable. And I think that's one of the things that we really help coaches do and gym owners do with HSN Mentoring is give you all the systems so that you can scale and have the impact that you inevitably want. Kayla, as we're wrapping up this podcast, give me 3 tips for nailing the evaluation. So coaches, you're about to have so many evaluations. Coaches need to have an evaluation. There's going to be one per business that we're going to do. Of course, if a gym owner is like, I'd rather you guys just evaluate all of my coaches or do them, twice a year, you can always pay for an additional evaluation. That's not a problem. But for those coaches who haven't done an evaluation yet, give me 3 tips to nail your evaluation.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is we want our clients talking more. The fastest way to lose your client's attention, and again, have those eyes gloss over, is by over-explaining, talking too much, and not taking the time to allow them to share their story. The biggest objective, I would say the second biggest objective of our meeting, specifically the initial consultation, is to learn as much about our clients as we can so we can truly understand them, so we can build that plan step by step for them to reach their long-term goal.
I love that. And, we always talk about those initial consultation forms as a guide, not a checklist, right? And by asking those open-ended questions, you probably will find out more things than you ever thought you would in those initial consultations. But that's so valuable to go back to those little details to help build that relationship. So I love that. The second thing that I think is so valuable is digging into the why. Explain that for me.
Yeah, digging into the why is one of my favorite topics. We want to know what our client wants to do. Maybe it's lose weight, gain muscle, have more energy, fit into that, dream outfit of theirs, which is all great. But we really want to know, why is that so important? What is that strong emotional connection to it? Because that's going to help us throughout this journey. We know it's not a quick fix or a sprint, but it's a marathon.
I love it. And, when you start looking at the why, we talk about this as transformational identity. You allow that client to picture what success looks like. And if they can visualize it, honestly, we're doing vision boards at HSN HQ, so that we're going to be really picturing what success looks like. It's going to get their buy-in more, and you really find out what's important to them. So I love that. What's the last tip that you would have?
Of course, don't forget that linear path.
So basically everything we talked about today, don't assume your clients know, plan out every little detail. And if you're like, as a coach, you're new to this idea, close your eyes. And based on what you talk about with your client, do you know exactly what to do to reach the end goal that you want with that client? So if you're looking to have that balanced breakfast, you want to be able to close your eyes. And based on what you guys talked about, can you do exactly what you talked about and get that balanced breakfast?
Yeah. The end goal of that, right, is are they over 80% confident that they can do this? They know exactly what it's going to look like, and you know exactly what it's going to look like.
I love it. Kayla, thank you so much for all that you do. This podcast is probably one of my favorite because there's so many actionable tips for coaches and gym owners in here to help them build wildly successful nutrition programs. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Oh, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that episode learning all about coach evaluations with Kayla. No, truly, if you want to build a professional nutrition coaching program as a gym owner or a coach at a gym, you need to understand what it looks like from a client's perspective. So sign up for that nutrition coaching program, be a client yourself, and see if it is the experience you want to deliver. If you have multiple nutrition coaches in your facility, which happens a lot of times, we want to make sure that we are delivering that consistent experience. So maybe if you are a nutrition coach, go ahead and work with the other nutrition coach at your facility to see if it is the experience is similar. One of the things that HSN coaches have done recently is sign up for nutrition coaching with our coaches at our HQ location to see what it looks like from a client's experience so that they can get even better. This experience, 3 months of nutrition coaching with a Healthy Steps nutrition dietitian or nutrition coaching, is actually included now in the mentoring program. So we're super, super pumped about that. Being able to have that growth mindset and constantly strive to get better and improve your client experience is only going to help you increase the client results and retention, and also add revenue to your business. So, I think we all got in this business to help people. But in order to help more people, we have to build a successful and profitable business. And one of the ways that we can do that is through nutrition and habit-based coaching. People need it. All right, as promised, I want to announce something really awesome coming soon. One of the big 3 initiatives that we're working on at HSN Mentoring is to create opportunities for gym owners and coaches to deepen connection and community. In 2018 and 2017, even in 2019, we hosted live workshops. These were a really great time. It was so much fun. We did them in Chicago. A day where gym owners and coaches would get together. We would talk about best practices and, most importantly, give gym owners and coaches time to connect and also apply the information. I'm sure we've all been to conferences before where it's like a fire hose of information and you leave pretty overwhelmed. That is the opposite of our goal with our in-person events. We want to provide bite-sized information and give you time to apply that information to your facility so you walk away with an actionable plan to build a more successful business. Well, we are hosting a mini event in Houston the first weekend in April. This is only open to Healthy Steps Nutrition gym owners and coaches. We're super excited about that. We're bringing our media team, and we have finally picked a date for our next live in-person workshop. So the live in-person Healthy Steps Nutrition workshop is going to be on Saturday, September 17th in Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know if you've heard me talk about Nashville before, but it is one of my favorite places in the world, and I'm so excited to be hosting a live event again. We're going to have so much fun connecting gym owners and coaches together, talking all about building more successful businesses. What are the best gyms doing who are building awesome nutrition coaching programs? We're going to dive into employee wellness and partnerships, because when I look at the best gyms using Healthy Steps Nutrition, they have successful partnerships and they have successful employee wellness programs. And I think there's such a bigger opportunity to impact more people when we get outside of just the walls of our gym. Number one, I think it allows you to impact more people, which is the whole reason why we opened up gyms in the first place. But it also allows you to add a revenue stream that is not reliant on your gym. At Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ, we specifically target construction companies because those people need the most help. We worked with dozens of construction companies over the years. We actually have a construction company employee wellness reset challenge going on right now with 40 employees, and they are doing absolutely awesome. But if you are looking to build a more successful business, connect with some amazing gym owners and coaches, and really learn how to level up your nutrition coaching program, this live event is open to HSN Mentoring clients, coaches, gym owners, coaches, as well as other gym owners who are not in the Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring family. So if you are interested, definitely click the link in the show notes so you can see more information. We are opening up registration for HSN Mentoring clients only right now through the end of February. March 1st, we'll open it up to everyone else. But you can go ahead and put your name on the wait list if you are interested and you are not a part of the Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring family right now. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you back here next week.